with your special presentation, the Weekend Update reporters. Welcome them now. Welcome them now.
Thank you. Is this on? Yes. All right. How you all doing tonight? Next for our weekend update, we have the lovely Miss Jane Curtin. Give it up for Jane. And I'm Chevy Chase. I'm going to tell a joke about a girl with a gap in her teeth, but I think I'll skip that one. But we do have an announcement. We have a little housekeeping we have to do here. First, we have an announcement from the Neillsville Winter Carnival Committee. The polar bear plunge has been moved from O'Neill Creek. The male divers are to report to the trout pond, and all the female divers are to report to Tom Opelt's pond.
Next in the news, 2 employees from Memorial Medical Center were discovered tonight posing as Neillsville basketball cheerleaders. Superintendent John Geyer was reported saying, "I was wondering where those weird kids came from." Timothy C. Meyer, a doctor for MMC, and Kelly J. Moan, a financial advisor for MMC, posed as cheerleaders and were undetected all season until the parents of the Thorpe team became enraged with the panty-showing pics, unusual chants of vengeance, and talk of body hair and inappropriate body gestures. The 2 MMC employees were quoted in saying, "We love football."
Well, staying with the sports theme, Brett Favre is retired again, but retirement hasn't lasted long. Brett has been looking for a second career. He's looking for a job that allows him to take long naps, have lots of coffee breaks, and has lots of supervisors. Rumor has it he applied to the City of Neillsville Public Works Department.
Watch your back. A riot was reported today on Hewitt Street, north of Neillsville along the O'Neill Creek. A plate was laid across the creek, and the north side of Neillsville and the south side of Neillsville residents battled. Man against man, woman against woman, and child against child. Each pushed the other off into the icy cold waters until all were exhausted. It is reported that the Wetzel's and the Opelt families continued this barbaric fighting until they finished the barrel of beer that was donated by the Cozy Kitchen, the men's coffee group. Now, we have the Winter Carnival correspondent is Rosanna Dana, here to give us an update.
Thanks a lot, Jane. And Mr. Pete Buffalo from Christie's this time sends me this limerick. Dear Rosanna Dana, this weekend is boring for me. I gotta stay home and crispy. Having no gas, I declare, is a pain in the rear. You can't say X on TV. Well, Mr. Buffalo, I know exactly what you're going through. Because this weekend, I, Rosanna Dana, was planning on driving to the polar plunge. And you know something? I love going to the polar plunge. Because you get to see a lot of pink and white and real pale people with stuff that's been growing on them under their clothes all winter. Little pimples and bumps and rashes and clumps of tiny hairs that's been growing on their back and their legs, and you don't know what they are. But I remember last Memorial Day, I went out to Snyder Beach, and I was having a real great time spinning and lying on the towel, soaking up the sunshine, and looking like a little dog. When who do I see at the beach but Miss Weekend Update herself, Jane Curtin. And Yes, it was Jane, and she was looking so cute in her little black bathing suit, with her bubbly, chubby little thighs, and those thighs still have the underwear lines on her leg. Changed in her car that morning. So, I yelled, "Hey, Jane, what are you doing at Snyder Beach?" But Jane wasn't looking at me, and you know what? Because she must have had this lump of wet sand at the bottom of her bathing suit. She kept licking at it, like a bulb that itches. Jane kept sticking her hands in her pants, get the sand out, and then flicking it away. Then she was on the beach and jumping up and down and around, flicking that sand out of her bathing suit. And no matter what Jane did, when she was walking, when she was buying ice cream, or playing frisbee, or anything, she kept licking at her bathing suit bottom. If she would just take her hands out of her pants, I thought she had a fish in there. I yelled, "Hey, Jane, quit flicking at yourself. What are you trying to do? Making me sick?" Well, I couldn't believe the way she...
Roseanne! Shut!
Well, what's the matter with you, Miss Jane?
Roseanne, what does this have to do with Winter Carnival? What does this have to do with gas shortages? What? Roseanne, I'm asking you.
Well, Jane, it just goes to show you. It's always something. It's not one thing, it's another. Either you don't have gas, or you got a lump of wet sand at the bottom of your bathing suit.
Thank you, Roseanne. And that's the Winter Carnival update.
I tell you what, Jane, that Roseanne, she floats my boat, huh? Wow, that was pretty good. Did you like that?
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
We're going to break from script here just for a moment. We need to thank somebody Ken special here tonight.
We do. Someone that puts a lot of time in and effort into the Winter Carnival.
Without him, this wouldn't happen, and that maybe would be a good thing, too. Let's give it up. Hey, Mr. Tom Opelt, come on out here. Okay, all right. Well, that takes us to our last segment tonight, and it's Point Counterpoint. And tonight's topic is women in wrestling. Jane?
High school wrestling. High school wrestling across the country are experiencing one thing in common. Weight classes for 103, 112, and 119 are unable to be filled. In this day of super fries and super burgers, it's almost impossible to find young men small enough to fill these weight brackets. I am willing to propose, in this day of equal rights, the introduction of the female wrestler. And I am sure that these weight brackets would be filled with smaller, physically advanced athletes with the pure desire to destroy the male ego. Showing the world again, we can produce the children, make the bacon, and save 40.
Jane, you ignorant. Coming from you, Jane, previously as known as Meet Me in the Back of the Wrestling Cheerleader who grappled with every Opelt on this side of Eau Claire. I think it's time you pulled that tongue out of your throat and woke up and smelled jockstraps. You're going to spend a little less time worrying about who's on the mat and more about making sure your pom-poms are untangled. Your cheerleading outfits are nice and pressed and those skirts are nice and short. I'd like to quote Mr. Jack Hammond, Hall of Fame wrestling coach here in Neillsville. The only wrestlers in Neillsville are going to be men and not women. Thank you all. Have a pleasant evening.